Perhaps maybe we could start by you telling us a little bit about what is Revyve, what it is that you guys do.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start with that.
So Revyve is a scale-up company from Wageningen University. So we started in 2019 with really the dream of turning some of the academic lessons we learned at the university into reality. And that basically meant that we had to leave the lab, start building our own company, and eventually build our own factory. And so we did. So 6 years later, we have a factory.
So what is it that you're producing?
Good question.
Yeah.
Got to mention that. So what we do is we make ingredients from natural microorganisms. And so we have developed a process where we use various sources of yeast, and we extract proteins from it in a very special way. In such a way that the proteins behave like egg white. Thus, you end up with a vegan egg white.
What is the vision and the mission of the company?
The vision that we always had from the start was really using microorganisms as a raw material to have a positive impact and use those, the stuff that basically nature already gives us and make sustainable food ingredients. It has been the idea from the start, and it will remain so.
Koyan, by training, you're an engineer, right?
Correct. Yes.
So,
more of a scientist than an engineer,
Okay.
if you get into the details.
what has it been like for you as a scientist, moving from sort of the world of academia, the world of science, into the world of business? What has it been like personally for you?
It's quite a journey,
Yeah?
to put it mildly. If you come from academia, basically 1 year later already you realize you've been in a bubble and you don't really know how the business world works. And so it has been, so many lessons in how you should run a business. Like, for example, when I started Revyve, I didn't even know what a balance sheet was, which is
Yeah.
fairly basic knowledge.
Yeah.
But I was so convinced of the technology, I figured, we'll figure out those basics at a later stage. In fact, you realize, no, you need to understand it from the start.
Yeah.
But it's like very basic startup and business knowledge. I was completely lacking, so I had to learn it all from scratch.
What has this journey been like for you, and how did you do it? Who helped you?
So I think one of the key players that helped me coming to terms with startup reality was StartLive. So we did the StartLive Accelerator in 2019, and that gives you, or they gave you a lot of tools on how to set up your business. What things do you need to consider? How do you go about HR? How do you go about sales, marketing? Basically everything except for science. But it was super, super helpful. And you get some basics, and then you can start building from there. That is, I think, one of the very important parts.
You started in 2019.
Yeah.
It's now 2005.
Yes.
So it's been 6 years.
Yes.
And you went from a research project in academia all the way to Series A now, right?
When this is published, I think we can safely say
Okay.
Series B is also.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
And you went from a team of, it was you and Edgar at the start, right?
Yeah.
2 people.
Until
you now have
over 30.
Over 30 people. What has growing and such an innovative company is, with such an innovative idea, what has it been like? Like, what are the challenges you face growing an innovative business from a research concept to all the way to Series A and Series B?
Yeah, your company goes through different phases. So, like, for example, I think the first year we were really pure research. So even though we left academia, we kept doing research, but only with a mindset of trying to get some profitable business out of it in a couple of years. And then later on, gradually you move into a company that starts thinking about, we need to start thinking about commercialization of all these ingredients. So you think about marketing strategies and bring in a lot of expertise when it comes to sales and marketing. Yeah, and then later on, once you have done a lot of engineering and designs, then you realize, now is the time to start building a factory.
Yeah.
And again, you need to bring in a lot of other expertise and knowledge and people to help you with this. And so it's basically 5-6 years of growing pains to go through.
Yeah.
And continuously reorganizing your company, what is best for the situation that you're doing in.
Yeah. And you've been bringing people continuously in this journey with you.
Yeah.
You went from 2 till now over 30 people.
Yeah.
How? Because you're on the founder team, so you generally care about the project leads part. I'm assuming it's like a bit like your baby.
Yeah.
How do you get, as you grow your team, how do you get people sort of aligned with the mission and with your philosophy?
What works for us now
is
that we have a very flat organization.
Okay.
So yes, there is a management team or a leadership team, but I feel that we are very open to any feedback from anyone coming from the team, and we try to implement that feedback as good as we can. But it also involves setting up a variety of structures in the company to help make the company as efficient as it is. You can perhaps imagine that these structures, they change all the time.
Yeah.
And especially like when it was just a two-man show in 2019, I had to only say one word and Edgar immediately knew what needed to happen. Of course, when you bring in a lot of new people, a lot of new expertise, you set up new groups in the company, and you need to start reconsidering that way of communication. You need to start thinking more about, let's say, more like business-like communication process.
Yeah, okay. That's very interesting. So what has been the difficulties that you faced scaling the company?
So especially it's in the financial side as a startup. That's really, I think any startup founder will say that, like, financially it's always tough.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a given. You know, like you're a startup founder, thus that means that you will have financial problems.
Yes.
Financial challenge. It's like a given. But I think also one of the challenges that we had to always go through was, like, how do you make sure that the company remains hyper efficient as it was last year?
Yep.
When we had, for example, 4 to 6 people.
Yep.
Now suddenly we have 10 to 20.
Yep.
How do you still make these people as efficient as the smaller group that you had like last year?
Yeah.
And so that means being continuously very critical on the processes that you have internally.
Yeah.
And it also involves eventually setting up some bit of a software packages, of course, that you need to start incorporating so that you know that everything will remain efficient.
You mentioned installing a software. So Revyve approached Catalyvia exactly for that.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could maybe walk us through the pain that you were experiencing, that you needed a bit of help with, which I'm assuming here is linked to the fact that you were scaling so fast.
Yeah.
What were you experiencing in terms of difficulties organizing the company, which we then perhaps helped you a little bit with?
Even though we are a company of 30 people, we were still struggling with communication lines internally. And for example, if the commercial team spoke to a customer that had a very specific request on, can you make apple pie? Then it was a very inefficient way to get people to start working from the application team on it, or maybe R&D. People need to reallocate time. Planning needs to be involved, maybe shifted. And so it was we were always reinventing the wheel when it came to things that came from inside the company, and trying to figure out, how can we make this work in the most efficient way. And we did not have any procedure for this internally, but we needed a bit of help. Yep. And this is where really project management software comes in.
Basically, you needed a bit of help systemizing certain internal operation.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you. Yes.
What's next for Revyve? What are you excited about?
Yeah, so world domination. We have our goals.
Yes.
No, but we are expanding. We're mostly selling in Europe and US right now, but we are broadening up our sales funnel.
Exciting. So, yeah, that's very exciting. Well, we really look forward to seeing how you guys go further.
You. Likewise.
Yeah. Thank you.